Welcome to Papillion Unscripted. I'm Michael Severe. It's the place to go to have a chance to hear from people who truly help make Papillion feel like home. This week, special honor, we get the president of the Sarpy County Chamber of Commerce, Karen Gibler, joining us here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
How does one become president of a Chamber of Commerce?
That's an interesting question. I think that I fell into the position. I was a stay-at-home mom for about 4 years, and my predecessor had recruited me to at least work part-time for the Chamber of Commerce. And when she left the Chamber, the Board of Directors had asked me to step up and do an interim position. And for 4 months, I was in that interim position, and we opened up for many candidates to apply. And some of the board members had really encouraged me to apply. So at the last minute, the last hour, I threw my name in, and I've been at the Chamber now for 10 years. Wow.
What is the mission statement of the Chamber? What do you want to accomplish?
Our goal is to educate, advocate, and lead businesses to be successful.
We go to, I'd say at least once a week, we have a ribbon cutting.
Yes.
And then at least a couple times a month, we have a groundbreaking. So we know businesses are opening in Papillion and in Sarpy County.
Yes.
What makes this area attractive?
Well, we're the fastest growing county for, well, as long as I've been at the Chamber, and we're going to continue to see that with the new sewer pipeline being built. We'll be able to develop the other 40% of Sarpy County. Sarpy County is a great place to live. We have low unemployment, we have low poverty, it's a safe place to live. It has a small town feel, but we have the amenities of a big city. So it's not hard for people to want to live here, and when rooftops come, the businesses come.
And we're also centrally located, not too far from the interstate in any direction, too. Makes it convenient?
Very convenient, yes, with Highway 75, I-80, 370. We'll continue to see in the next 5 years Platteview Road being a major thoroughfare. The Highway 34 bridge opened up to bring the Iowa people in through Bellevue and into the communities. So we are easy access, even for the big businesses. That's really opened the doors for the major companies like Google and Facebook and Amazon and FedEx to come in, as we're right off the interstate. So it's ideal for them.
Of course, when those businesses come in, they need employees. If you want a city to grow, if you want a county to grow, you have to have people staying here, the next generation. How do we prevent that brain drain of people leaving the state, leaving the county?
Well, we're really seeing a big call for trades. So the schools in Sarpy County have done a great job of building classes that entice students and educate parents on the benefits of being in trades. The other thing that we're seeing is the younger generation may go off to college, and then they come back when they decide to get married and have children, because this community is such a great place to live. You graduate from high school, you want to go explore the world and stuff, and then you come back and you're like, oh, I really love where I was raised. I want to raise my family here as well. And we're seeing that. There's a lot of numbers that say, oh, we're losing all these people. But then when you do a research and you come back and you see those numbers, matter of fact, we're seeing the retirement age is really exploding in the move back here. And I think a lot of that is people are coming back and they want to be around their grandchildren.
That makes sense.
And so we see a lot of those people moving in. We'll continue to market the younger people to come in, and I think you'll see in a lot of the city's comprehensive plans that we're really marketing towards them with the amenities that we're bringing into the community.
Rough guess, how many businesses are a part of the Chamber?
So we have under 1,000. Of course, it varies based on, the needs of the businesses, and we also see with the challenge of having employees, if they have people that are able to participate and utilize the benefits. When you're shorthanded, sometimes it's hard to utilize some of those benefits. We do support all businesses, regardless if they're a chamber member or not, with our legislative advocacy. We do have educational opportunities. We have a modern professional group that you don't have to be a chamber member to participate in. So we're really here for all businesses.
When you hear from those businesses these days, when gas prices are higher, we have the supply chain issues, what are you hearing from your businesses in terms of being able to operate now? Coming off the pandemic, of course, too.
Yeah, well, we're seeing some of the restaurants are having to close one day because they don't have the staff to facilitate that. It's a challenge to get people. We're seeing the cost of recruiting employees and the pay scale for employees is really dramatically growing to be able to market people to come to work for them, which will then drive the prices up. We are seeing some delay in construction products. We're not really seeing so much in food products. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody say, "Oh, well, we just can't get this food product in." But for the most part, it's really in the construction side, or, you know, for example, windows or garage doors, those kinds of things that can slow down some of the commercial and residential growth.
It's so random. I heard the other day, red paint is hard to get right now.
Paint in general.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's remarkable that it'd be something simple like that. So when you look at all the businesses we have here and all the opportunities, what's missing, would you say, from Papillion, Sarpy County that could help folks out?
Well, it kind of goes back to when we were talking about the younger generation. What we're seeing with the younger generation is they really want to have the opportunity to walk to restaurants, to walk to bars, walk to community events. And actually, Papillion has a great comprehensive plan where they're putting in the nice trail system. We're seeing that also extend into other cities in Sarpy County. Then when we build the housing and the businesses around those trails, you will really see a big draw in the younger generation. It takes time to do all that, and so you're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years, all of our cities are really growing their downtown area, the trails to those areas, the mom and pop shops that people like to go in and explore and shop and eat. We're seeing some more authentic food restaurants coming in that are small business, privately owned. So as those trails and those access to those, you're going to see the retired people, the younger generation, love to do those kind of activities. And so right now, that is our growth opportunity.
You need a mixture, though, of those mom and pops, right? And the national brands, because people enjoy sometimes going to the national restaurants.
Absolutely, yes. There's something to be said to be able to go to Shadow Lake and run into Dick's Sporting Goods or J.C. Penney's, and then go over to, you know, the small, you know, Mexican restaurant, or go to the chocolate. Yes.
Good,
so you get a nice blend in our community.
So you mentioned being a stay-at-home mom for a little while.
Yes.
5 kids.
Yes.
All the activities. How do you manage balancing that out, you and your husband, with working at the same time and everything you guys have to do together?
A lot of it was tag team.
Really?
Like, yeah. High five each other and you take off, and everybody pretty much does. You have the kids help around the house, and I don't know. I mean, I just think you do it.
Right. You got to have a schedule, obviously. Something on the refrigerator, right?
Yes, it's kind of interesting with the kids being older now. Sometimes I'm like, something doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like I should be super busy all the time. You know, when we had all 5 of our kids in basketball at one time.
Wow.
And then one of them was on 3 basketball teams. And so every single night we were at practice or a game, and at least one every single night. So.
Wow. Yeah. You also have done some fostering as well. Tell us why that's important to you.
Well, there's a little history to it. Back when I was in high school, I lived in Dallas, Texas, and we were required to do so much volunteer work, and I volunteered at a children's shelter. They didn't have foster homes and the foster homes for the children, and so they basically stayed on a campus, and so I volunteered there. And it was very interesting for me to see how these kids just wanted to be loved, and when they did get adopted, how exciting it was. And that always resonated with me through my adulthood. And I had a calling, and I struggled with that calling, with having my own children and bringing additional children into the house. And I prayed on it, and the answer was, yes, do it. And I did the high-risk foster children. So these were children that were suicidal, extremely violent, had a lot of problems that were not in a regular foster care system. And it was a lot of work. It was very rewarding. All of them are adults now, and some of them have their own children. Many of them still live in this community.
Wow.
And it was a good experience for my children and for them. So
yeah, I don't want people to realize how many foster kids there are in the state. We have for a state our size,
Yes.
we have so many kids, especially that age of like 12 to 16.
Yeah.
And have people take them in. That's really incredible.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of these children who are being raised by parents that get their children taken away are third generation, and some of them don't know any different. They don't know a different lifestyle, and it takes a lot of patience. We always treated the children as our own. They went on vacation with us. Sometimes kids would be dropped off at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'd sit down and have a cup of cocoa and just kind of get them comfortable, put some clean clothes on them, and get them all tucked in. And then and that's some of the best experiences are when the parents actually go through the program and they get to be reunited with their parents, being able to find adopt a family for them, for a couple that can't have children. Those are some really neat experiences. I'd encourage everyone to think about if they could open their doors.
That's awesome. With all the things you do, you're also an honorary admiral in the Nebraska Navy. Do you sail much? Do you get around on the water?
Well, no.
How did that come about?
So it was a nomination from a gentleman that I know, and it goes to a committee. They review the nominations, and you're selected, and then the governor honors you with that award. It has an interesting history that years ago the governor wanted to acknowledge key community leaders within the state, and that's how this was developed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was quite a surprise.
Yeah.
So
I always ask people, because we highlight as many things as we can on Papillion Vision, try to make sure that we talk about all the little things, but we don't highlight everything. Is there something you can think of in Papillion or in Sarpy County that maybe needs to have that spotlight on it?
Well, I would really encourage anybody that's watching today to really take the time to look at what your community events are, what the community activities, the outdoor activities. There's so much to explore and do. Get outside of your house. Be involved, volunteer. There's so many opportunities to volunteer. Our Leadership Sarpy program has taken so many people the experience to start volunteering and being involved in something that it's just makes your community bigger, better, and you expand your friendships, your network. There's so many great 55-plus clubs in the community. There's so many great children activities. You can go to Sarpy Tourism. You can go to any of the city's websites, and there's outdoor movie theaters. There's water parks. There's so much to do to make your life fulfilled. And if you're interested in opening a business, we have so many resources. We have a lot of people say, oh, I've always wanted to own my own business.
Right.
Well, now's the opportunity. The community's growing, and there's so much going on that today is the day for people to really rethink their lives as we're seeing.
Sure.
And how can you make it more fulfilling? And we're the community to help do that.
It's a time to do that.
It's
and this is
time
the
to do
location
that.
to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Karen, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, join us next time where we again talk to someone who truly helps make Papillion feel like home.